The maturation of Matt Harrison has been one of the best stories among the 2011 Rangers. It's also been a reason the team is in first place. His poise and performance this season have placed him solidly in the starting rotation, and his consistency has let Ron Washington count on him to give the team a chance to win every time out. Your Rangers could use a win tonight to split the series with the Twins and to close out the homestand on a high note. Last game of the homestand, last game of the season series between the Rangers and the Minnesota Twins. And on another very warm night, we welcome you to Rangers Ballpark. Dave Barnett along with Tom Grieve, and the Rangers trying for a split of this four-game series, mostly because of pitching issues. But tonight they do have Matt Harrison going, and Tom, over better than 2 months now, he's been one of the best pitchers in either league.
He really has, Dave. Covering 13 starts, his ERA is .244. He's been really good, and this is a big game for the Rangers. They need to win tonight. They're going on the road. They've lost 2 out of 3 in this series. They've got Matt on the mound, and he's been throwing the ball great. His last start against Toronto was a no decision. I thought he threw the ball better than the overall numbers, but here's what we're talking about in his last 11 starts: 5-3, .226 ERA. He's been throwing the ball exceptionally well. Needs a good start tonight.
A couple of hard luck losses and no decisions in those 11 outings. He will have a very hot bat behind him tonight, and that is Michael Young DHing again, and he comes in tonight with a 6-game hitting streak. And at cleanup, there has been really no drop-off in production so far with Adrian Beltre on the disabled list. Final game between the Rangers and the Twins next. To you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. By the Progressive Insurance Group. For money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. By Jack in the Box. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99. By Drive Clean Across Texas. Enter to win a fuel-saving Ford Fusion Hybrid. It's easy at drivecleanacrosstexas.org. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Rangers about to take the field here for the final game of the year between their nemesis for the last several years from the AL Central, the Minnesota Twins. And with Emily Jones on maternity leave, we welcome tonight Leslie McCaslin.
Thank you very much. Well, you know, it's an important time of the season. These guys have to finish it out strong, even though it seems like there's quite a bit left. It's something that Elvis Andrus talked about earlier today. You know, defense is so key. Ron Washington has really harped on that. They have 85 errors. That's the second most in the entire league, the most in the AL right now. They have 7 errors alone in this series, and Elvis Andrus said now is the time that we've got to figure this out and finish strong.
You know, as a team and personally, we have to, take this errors down. We're way better defense team than we've been doing this year. So for sure, we got 2 more months to go, and these are really important 2 months, and it's a good time, to figure it out and trying to get, those errors, a little bit down.
Well, like you said, they have 2 months, and if my math is right, about 57 games. So they have a little bit, but with the Angels hot on their heels, it's time to figure it out. Back to you, Dave.
It is time, and the Angels have kept the pressure on by winning this afternoon at Detroit 12-7. A 17-hit attack. And the Angels, as of this moment, are just 1.5 games behind Ron Washington's Rangers. As we look at the Southwest Airlines Minnesota starting lineup, and again, the rookie center fielder Ben Revere leading off. Tsuyoshi Nishioka moves up from 9 to 2 because of the injury to Alexi Casilla. Hamstring injury last night. Joe Mauer catching. Michael Kadire at first batting cleanup. Jason Kubel had the big series in right. Jim Thome is the DH. Danny Valencia at third. Delman Young at left, and Matt Tolbert called up to take over second base for the injured Casilla. And they will face Matt Harrison in search of his 9th victory.
Well, Matt's had 19 starts. He's 8-7, a solid 3.05 ERA. Last 11 starts find him with a 2.26 ERA. And most of the time he's given you at least 6 innings. Last 4 starts, he's only walked 2 batters and struck out 24. It doesn't get much better than that. And, maybe you go back a year ago, and when Matt was starting, you didn't know exactly what you were going to get. You might get something spectacular. You might get something inconsistent. This year, that hasn't been the case. He's been consistent all season long. And when he's out there, you expect your team's got a chance to win that game.
First pitch in there to Ben Revere. And that one just outside. The home plate umpire is Mike Malinsky tonight. Mike Winters at first, Mike Everett at second, and Chris Guccione is at third. And a dribbler. Harrison barely in time to get the very fast Revere at first. Here's the rest of the defensive alignment for the Rangers. Hamilton, Chavez, and Cruz in the outfield. The infield has Davis at third, Andrus at short, Kinsler at second, Mitch Moreland at first, and Yorvi Torrealba doing the catching. And Tom, does it feel a little cool to you? It's a little,
maybe a little bit.
A little more, not much. 99 degrees for our first pitch. That is 3 degrees cooler than last night. There's actually some rain in the area, South Fort Worth area. First pitch to Nishioka, chopped right to Chris Davis, playing in on the grass at third.
And Nishioka had been up 59 times right-handed, hasn't walked yet. Has a 190 on base percentage right-handed. So I guess the one thing you'd say is don't walk him.
He is 1 for 14 now in this series. Injured when the Rangers were in Minnesota last month, as was Joe Mauer. But last night he did something he has not done all year, and that is hit one out. And rarely has he pulled the ball, and he did both on an 0-1 pitch in the first inning against Colby Lewis.
Well, they play him way around toward left field. Almost a little bit more of a shift than opposing teams use on Michael Young, who's a right center field hitter.
His ground ball to Andrus. And a 6-pitch, 3 ground out first inning turned in by Matt Harrison. Nothing for the Twins. Kinsler, the Rangers, coming to bat. First inning, and now the Rangers come to bat, and their Southwest Airlines starting lineup will, as usual, feature Kinsler, Andrus, Hamilton, the top 3. Michael Young, the DH at cleanup. Cruz is in right. Mitch Moreland at first. Yorby Torrealba batting 7th. Ahead of Chris Davis at 3rd, and Endy Chavez in center field. And they will face Scott Baker, who has emerged as the top starter on the Minnesota staff this year.
Yeah, he's always had a great arm. Doesn't walk many. Has a good breaking ball, has a solid fastball. In 4 of his last 5 starts, he hasn't given up an earned run. That's pretty solid. Had a little bit of an arm issue. Had a big break at the All-Star break. Didn't throw a lot of pitches in his last couple of starts, but I think the Twins feel like he's back to normal now, and he'll be on a normal pitch count tonight. 6 starts ago, 9 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, no walks, when he beat the Rangers in Minnesota. So the Rangers have seen him in the past pretty good. In fact, in his last 5 starts against the Rangers, he's 4-0.
Out in front of Kinsler, 1-2. That 288 earned run average for Baker is 9th in the league. But Kinsler, a pretty good history against him. And after a couple of tough nights trying to end at 0 for 10, and he reaches out and, excuse me, bouncer Baker for the first out. Here's the Minnesota defense. Their outfield will have Young in left, Revere in center, and Kubel in right. Infield, Valencia at third, Ishioka at short, Tolbert for Casilla at second, Kadire at first, Joe Mauer. 3 straight Gold Gloves at catcher. MVP 2 years ago. Here's Elvis Andrus with a mixed bag last night. Couple of hits, including a double. But also tried to steal third base with Michael Young at the plate in a situation where he was already in scoring position, really didn't need third. And Mauer gunned him down without too much trouble.
Yeah, it would have been a situation where if you know you can steal third, you can get a good jump, you're better off at third with 1 out because you can score on a sacrifice fly or a ground ball to the second baseman or to the shortstop. But when you're down by that many runs, you really need to know that you can make it. And he was out by a good margin. So I think it was a good aggressive idea, but didn't pull it off successfully in that situation. That's probably a base running no-no.
which Elvis acknowledged after the game, as Ron Washington had already pointed out to him. Hopes it's the kind of thing Elvis will learn from. He sends a high pop-up on the right side of the infield, and it's the first baseman Kadire for out number 2. So that'll bring up Josh Hamilton, coming toward the end of a pretty spectacular month in July, hitting .322, 22 runs batted in. He has scored 19 runs in 23 games. And those RBIs tied for the 3rd most in baseball this month. Scott Baker has pitched him well over the years. Josh just 3 for 18 with 9 strikeouts against the former Oklahoma State star out of Captain Shreve High School in Shreveport. 2nd round draft pick, 2003. Out in front 0-2 with a good backdoor breaking ball. Josh tearing it up at home. That's really over the course of just about a calendar year he's hit that well. And this one hit well to right field, and it is over the head of Kubel and off the wall. And Hamilton into second with a 2-out double.
That's a very hard hit double. That looked like a line drive over second for a base hit, and it carried all the way to the warning track out in right center field. Poor Kubel didn't have a chance on this one. Just plain got there too quick. That's one that Josh hit right on the sweet spot of the bat. The only thing he didn't do is get it up in the air a little bit. That one would have carried a long way. Off the wall.
And on an 0-2 pitch, Josh Hamilton safe at second, safe and secure New York life. So immediately an RBI opportunity for Michael Young, who has been coming through at a pretty amazing rate. RBI in 9 of his last 13 games. And fouls the first pitch back.
Yeah, I'm looking at the way Minnesota plays Michael in the outfield. The Rangers actually shade Joe Mauer the opposite way a little bit more than the Twins shade Michael Young. And every team shades Michael Young toward right field. Hits a lot of balls to right center field. It's where you should play him.
Michael second in the league in batting, tied for 7th in runs batted in. First in runners in scoring position at 386. But this pop-up will come down in foul territory to Kadire. And Baker works around the 0-2 double with 2 outs by Josh Hamilton, scoreless after 1.
Thank you, Dave. In Community Corner tonight, we're talking about every 90 seconds someone in the U.S. is diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Well, now it's time to fight back. The ALS Therapy Development Institute, the world's largest research center devoted to developing effective treatments to ALS. For those who want to learn more, please log on to ALS.net or call the number on your screen. Ranger fans, you ready for a win tonight? Let's get it done. All right. Good to have you out here, Dave.
All right, Jim. Michael Kadire at the plate, and a ball and a strike from Matt Harrison. Another ground ball. And Elvis Andrus has handled the last two. 4 up, 4 down, 4 grounders.
Yep, none of them hit very hard. Maurer and Kadire hit their balls off the handle. The other two are just little tappers, one to third, one to the mound.
So 1 out here in the second, and here is Kubel, the right fielder, who has had a big series. Average up to 314 now. Yesterday, he struck out his first 2 trips. The next 2 he singled, and then in the 9th inning, he had the big bases clearing double after the young error on the weak ground ball off the bat of Kadire, and that put it completely out of reach. 7-1 at that point, and of course the Twins ended up winning 7-2. 6 for 13 with a homer, 6 RBIs in the series. Goes for that pitch near the dirt. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Twins lead the season series this year 5-2. Last 3 years 18-9. They have really been the Rangers' nemesis. And we've talked a lot about how they've come out of their horrific start. They were 17-37, trailed by as many as 16.5 in the Central. They have gotten as close as 5 games, and if they win here, they will be back within 5 games of the Tigers, and would also be just 5 games under 500 after being 20 under. And Ron Gardenhire's club's done that basically in just 2 months.
Yeah, they have a ways to go because they've got 4 teams ahead of them, 3 teams ahead of them, but they're close enough, and no one ahead of them is really playing much better than win one, lose one right now. And all their starters are pretty solid. They give you a chance to win.
Kubel thrown out by Torrealba on the 3-2 pitch. Introducing Fox Sports Game Connect, the ultimate online experience for fans. Log on to take part in the most interactive forum during Rangers games. Stats, trends, exclusive analysis, and live Twitter feeds. Plus, you can even share your thoughts with the game broadcast. Fox Sports Game Connect now available on foxsportssouthwest.com. We had some good questions as part of the broadcast last night. Look to do it again here. Here's Jim Thome.
If the Twins get all the way healthy, in other words, if Justin Morneau comes back, they just keep getting injuries, though. Last night, Alexi Casilla looked like he pulled his hamstring. He might have to go on the disabled list. They get all their guys healthy and maybe add a bullpen guy. 2 months to go. Anything can happen. They've made up this much ground with all the injuries they've had. They're starting to get healthy. If they get all the way back in September, they've got a chance. They've got a shot. They're not that far out, even though there are several teams ahead of them. They'll play all those teams a lot in the last 2 months.
Just off the plate, 1-2 to Thome.
While there's some good teams ahead of them, they all have their issues. There's not one team ahead of them that looks like they're going to win 12 or 15 games over 500 the rest of the way.
But that would just be astounding. It really already is. From 20 games under 500, written off by everybody, people questioning the whole premises of how they run their franchise. A lot of people think they've gotten away from what made them so great over the last, well, really, most of the last 3 decades and beyond. Thome strikes out. Matt Harrison has retired all 6 and has yet to allow a ball out of the infield. with a Fans Choice 20 game plan. Enjoy the flexibility of selecting the 20 games you want and choose from 10 locations starting at only $100 per plan. The Fans Choice plan now available through August 8th only. So visit TexasRangers.com today. It's Cruz leading off the Rangers second with a ground ball flagged down by Valencia, who spins and throws him out. It's Moreland and Yorvit Torrealba now to hit against Scott Baker in the second. Baker allowed only a 2-out double to Josh Hamilton in the first.
Well, Baker, as we've already mentioned when we talked about him earlier in the scouting report, 4 out of his last 5 starts have resulted in no earned runs. And one of the things he's done over that time is he's kept the ball in the ballpark. He hasn't given up a home run in 41 innings.
Yeah, that's 6 straight starts. No one has taken him deep. Mitch Moreland with 12 homers on the year and a good homestand, 7 for 20. Couple of doubles, 3 runs batted in. Baker with the 9th best ERA in the league at 2.88, 8th in strikeout ratio per 9 innings at 8.5. And the people that have watched him all year say the big improvement is he used to throw a lot of belt-high fastballs and has brought those down on a pretty consistent basis to knee level. There's a belt-high fastball, and that's what Mitch Moreland could do with it. The Rangers have their second base hit. But Baker keeping it lower and being willing to throw breaking balls in the dirt to get hitters to chase those. He was reluctant to do that before, and they finally convinced him. He had a Gold Glove catcher let him do some work.
A good swing right there by Mitch. Got a good fastball to hit, and he hit it pretty well.
So now, Yorvit Torrealba, who has been scalding the ball. He and Endy Chavez last night, the 8-9 hitters, had 4 of the Rangers' 9 base hits in the game. Yorvit 5 for 7 the last 2 games with 5 runs batted in.
He's had a lot of good at-bats, too. He's seeing more pitches, using the whole field, using right field. And he's much tougher out over the last week or 10 days. In a good groove right now. Great concentration at the plate.
Yorvit Tuesday night with a 3-run home run, his first 3-run blast in about 3.5 years, since April 21st of 2008, and his 4th home run as a Ranger. Twins hoping for a double play grounder here, with Moreland taking off at first, and the pitch is inside. The throw by Mauer is a perfect strike.
I gotta think someone missed a sign right there. I can't imagine that Mitch had the straight steal sign. Either Mitch missed a sign or Torrealba missed the hit and run. You see Mitch look in, and he knows he's a dead duck when he saw Torrealba take that pitch.
Well, that's only the 4th attempted steal by Mitch Moreland all year, and he's now 2-2.
That's why I say it's just not a spot in the game that you would have Mitch Moreland attempt a straight steal.
And definitely from that look back, he seemed to be unpleasantly surprised that there was no swing, and Mauer had such a clear alley to throw. And boy, did he put it right there for Tolbert to allow Moreland to just slide right into the tag. But now 3-1 to Yorvit with Chris Davis on deck. And he hits that one pretty well to left field, but Delman Young will have a lot of room out there. And despite Moreland's single, Baker faces the minimum 3 in the Rangers second. Is brought to you by Geico Insurance, where 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by the Smurfs in theaters tomorrow. Matt Harrison has allowed 5 groundouts and a strikeout, retiring the first 6 Minnesota Twins. Here in the third, Valencia, Young, and Tolbert. 21 pitches, 13 strikes from Matt. 5 of the 6 Twins hitters have seen first pitch strikes.
Add 1 to it.
Strike 1 to Danny Valencia, 5 for 13 in the series. Driven in a couple. Comes in tonight with an 11-game hitting streak. Hitting .349. Twins winning 2 of the first 3 games of this series, despite allowing 30 runs on 49 hits. Of course, 20 of those runs, 27 of the hits Monday. They had the big comeback Tuesday, winning 9-8, and last night the strong 6 2/3 by Brian Dunsing, and putting it away in the 9th inning. So they are 15-10 in the month of July, as they continue to claw their way back in the division. 2 of the teams ahead of them off today, the White Sox and the Indians. But again, Detroit losing this afternoon to the Angels, 12-7. Good news for the Twins, not good news for the Rangers. And a full count now for Valencia. Harrison's second full count. He got Kubel to roll out on a dribbler up the first baseline, fielded by Torrealba last inning. Yet another ground ball opportunity, and Davis guns it across the diamond. Let's check in again with Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. You may remember this familiar face. It's Chris Harrison, the host of the hit show with Bachelor. And a lot of people may not realize this. You grew up in the Dallas area, big-time Ranger fan, correct?
Born and raised, yeah, Lake Highlands boy, and here in the area. I've been coming to games since, well, early 70s. I don't want to date myself too much, but yeah, I spent a lot of time over at the other ballpark at Arlington watching Nolan Ryan pitch, and so it's phenomenal. So throughout the first pitch tonight.
Yeah, throughout the first pitch, and a dream come true. You graduated Oklahoma, started your career at Oklahoma City, but Nolan Ryan was a guy you always watch. And tell us the story before the game, before you took the mound.
Yeah, well, if you grew up around here, you know this is a dream come true. Before, you kind of sit in this green room, and Nolan walks in. So I sat for about 45 minutes talking to my hero, the legend Nolan Ryan. And that was it for me, man. I'm done. My son was with me, and I said, you don't know how cool this is that, we're sitting here with the Nolan Ryan.
There we go. Okay, well, nice meeting you. Great guy here. And let's see, Monday is the finale, right?
Yeah, we got kind of a 2-night finale, Sunday night, and then Monday night, the 3-hour finale of Bachelorette on ABC. So join us. All you Rangers.
And the winner is what? Okay,
Michael Young.
Yeah, Michael Young. There he is. Okay, very good.
Appreciate it.
Nice meeting you. Good seeing you. Appreciate it, Dave.
All right. Delman Young waiting for a 3-0 pitch. And Harrison pours that in. Best jobs in TV. You and I tied for first. Jim Knox right there. Number 4 might be Chris Harrison. It's at my house. He gets huge reviews.
Does he really?
Big time ratings at my house. I'm not in front of the TV. Chopper handled by Elvis Andrus, and the parade of ground ball outs continues. Now that's 8 batters faced. 7 have grounded out, all but Tomey, who struck out.
Yeah, these ground balls aren't hit very hard either. These are just routine taps. Probably the best play would have to be the one that, let's see, probably the one that Matt made on Ben Revere right off the bat when he had to charge that little tapper out in front of the mound and just nipped a fast runner at first base. Other than that, it's been pretty routine.
Curve for strike 1 to Matt Tolbert, just up from AAA Rochester today after the hamstring injury last night to Alexi Kasian. There's one in the air and a base hit, and the Twins have their first base runner, and it is Matt Tolbert, who is hitting only 194, 7 for 36 with Rochester.
Well, he hit one of the few fastballs that's actually been belt high or above. He didn't hit it very well. He just blooped it into center field. But it's probably pretty hard to hit this pitch on the ground. It's just higher than Matt wanted to throw it. But you'll take that kind of contact every time right off the handle. He just was able to bloop it where no one was playing.
So Tolbert aboard, 2 outs, and here's Ben Revere.
There's a good chance if you get Revere right here, and he can't lead off the 4th inning. Have Nishioka leading off instead, and he hasn't had a whole lot of success hitting right-handed this year.
He's a 190 hitter right-handed. 1 ball and 1 strike to Revere.
Josh is probably playing as close to the left field line as he'll play any left-hand hitter. Any hitter, period. He'd never been a right-hand hitter alive that you played right there, I don't think. At least not that I've seen. Well, he is hugging the line.
These are some pretty radical outfield positionings for both Revere and Mauer. 2 balls and a strike to Revere. No homers, 14 runs batted in. Not a whole lot of success against the Rangers. But last month, the co-American League Rookie of the Month for June with the A's, Jemile Weeks. Hit just under 300 in June. And 2-2.
There's a good sinker. That's just about exactly where and how you want to throw your sinker. Good velocity, good movement, and excellent location.
Tolbert over at first. Has speed. Revere slaps that one into the seats, and Ben Revere does too. At Lexington Catholic High School, won the state championship in football as a junior, and a few months later won it in baseball. 2-time Kentucky Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year. 328. 4 years in the minors. Coming into this year, made his major league debut as a September call-up last year. And that one, not a difficult play for Josh Hamilton in left field. Harrison finally gives up a base runner and a base hit, but it's still 0-0. .com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit TexasRangers.com for details. Who cared about the lockout? We had the Rangers. Exactly right. I don't know how many times I've heard, oh, football is back. Football was never gone. There was not a single game, scrimmage, practice missed, unless you count the dreaded OTAs. Much ado about nothing. Chris Davis rolls it to the right side. Kadire with the backhand pickup and flips to Baker for the out.
Well, something that's much more ado than nothing, if you can say it that way, were the maple pecan squares that we got from Hugo, Oklahoma, from Hillary Pound. She's here tonight with her husband Corey, her dad Ricky Stockton. Thank you, Hillary. We also got a pretty good portion of George Clayton's birthday cake. His family has rented a suite tonight to celebrate his 74th birthday. George was an usher for the Rangers for a long time. And some birthday greetings. Maggie Zapata from San Angelo was here at the game having a birthday. And also Mary Ruth Kindiger, 96 years old. And I understand she is a Ranger fanatic. So Mary Ruth, if you're watching tonight, I hope you are. Happy birthday. And also Alex Orr, 85 today. He was a World War veteran, the Army Air Corps. Thank you for your service, Alex, and have a happy 85th birthday today.
Andy Chavez, a tough out here at the ballpark, down 0-2 here. Bounces it right back to Baker. 2 outs in the Ranger third. Let's go down to Leslie McCaslin.
Well, we talked a little bit about the Rangers hitting woes last night. That included Ian Kinsler, 0 for 9 in the last 2 games. Showed some frustration last night when he couldn't get runners home, but he said he doesn't carry that over from game to game.
Try to let it go as best as you can. I mean, you got to play defense. You know, I think that helps. You're able to kind of let it go and refocus on the defense side of the ball, and you get a couple innings to kind of refocus for your next at bat. But last night was a frustrating game for me, and hopefully I got a good one today.
Hit a home run on Monday night. We know he can do it. Hopefully he'll get it going again tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, Leslie.
Well, the one thing Ian has definitely done is play defense. He's playing Gold Glove defense at second base right now. All over the field, to his right, to his left, you name it. He's making the plays.
29 straight errorless games, 2 errors in his last 67 games.
Yeah, I don't. I guess we're a little bit biased, but I don't see a better defensive second baseman in the league than him.
Turns on that pitch, but that will hook into the seats, and it's 1-2. Our Geico quotes Ian Kinsler on Emily Jones' pregnancy. I have definitely heard some funny comments. She handled it extremely well. Maybe spring training she was a little emotional, and we got on her about that. Well, I know everybody in the clubhouse echoes Ian's good wishes for Emily. As do we. And a big swing and a miss. First strikeout for Scott Baker. A 1-2-3 Ranger third on just 9 pitches. Go to MillerHighLife.com for details. Fourth inning, 0-0, and we welcome one of the all-time Ranger greats here, Rusty Greer. Welcome to the booth on the 17th anniversary of a pretty big day in Ranger history.
Yeah, matter of fact, when I got the message they wanted me to come up here and relive it, I was like, wow, 17 years. Somebody's getting old around here, you know.
Well, everybody up here. But, of course, we're talking about the Kenny Rogers perfect game, July 28th, 1994, first year of the ballpark. And you were in center field that night. One thing that people probably remember most is the final out of that game, because you had to range over, first of all, to make that great diving catch, and then you also made the catch on the 27th and final out.
Well, that ball there, I catch it over my head, and it was almost missed. I was so excited. The other one was probably easier because you're either going to catch it or you're not, but that one's a give me. You're supposed to catch it. And
did you misjudge it a little bit?
Well, you know what? If you look at this facade right here, it's when the balls are rubbed up, and you see outfielders early in the game here where it looks like they get fooled on a ball.
Yeah.
The ball gets lost in that facade for a split second. And if you keep staring at it, it'll come out. But sometimes you won't know as well as I do that a split second can be the difference in a catch or a hit. And that ball got lost, and I stood there and said, it's coming out somewhere, and there it was, and it was above my head.
What a time for that to happen, too, huh?
I know.
When did it dawn on you that Kenny Rogers had that kind of stuff that night?
When he struck out, I want to say Spike Owen in either the first or I don't know when it was early. He threw a breaking ball, a 3-2 breaking ball to Spike Owen, and it snapped. And I said, man, Kenny's got good stuff tonight. And but you know what the pitch of the game was to me was the 7th inning. Jim Edmonds, 3-2. He throws him a changeup, and he swings through it. Wow. 3-2 changeup in the 7th inning of a perfect game. And that was the pitch of the game. It was gutsy, and it was probably the pitch that needed to be made. But I don't know if I could have done it.
Well, you know, early in the game is one thing, but 7th inning, everyone knows what's going on then.
Yeah. Yep.
What was it like in the dugout between innings?
Your typical, Kenny wasn't one to separate himself or anything like that. And we just went about our normal business. And, I want to say that Jose Canseco or somebody was kind of talking about it and that kind of stuff. But it was normal business as usual. And when I really realized it was about the 6th inning, I realized he hadn't given up a hit, and then all of a sudden the crowd's on their feet, and with every pitch, if it's a ball, the umpire was getting booed. With every pitch, it was a strike. They were screaming for him, and about the 8th inning, the crowd went berserk one time, and it was probably the loudest I've ever heard this ballpark. Even playoffs, except for the World Series last year, and when they beat the Yankees to go to the World Series. But it was something I won't forget.
Definitely one of the great moments in Rangers history, the very first year of the ballpark, 17 years ago tonight. Here's Joe Mauer, who grounded to short his first time up. Matt Harrison's allowed only one hit, and that was a 2-out single in the 3rd by their number 9 batter, Matt Tolbert. Rusty, you're also here to talk about what's coming up next Friday, August 5th at noon at the Arlington Convention Center, honoring Kenny Rogers. That is the Rangers Hall of Fame luncheon.
Kenny got inducted this year, and congratulations to him. He's well deserved. He probably one of the greatest pitchers in Rangers history, and deserves to be in. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him in a while, and going to lunch and seeing a lot of people.
Tickets still available. Log on to TexasRangers.com and come out and join that stellar group.
Rusty, it's been 17 years since that game. You played on a couple of really good Ranger teams. Do you stay in contact with any of your old teammates? Do you see them very often?
There's a group that stayed in the North Texas area. Bobby Witt and Kenny Hill and Jeff Russell and a lot of those guys on the 96, 97, the late 90s teams. I see them quite a bit. I still chit-chat with Will every so often. And that's about it. Most of the guys that stay around here. Of course, Darren, I see him quite a bit. He's
now, how many years were you and Darren roommates?
We started off in 1990, I believe, 91, somewhere in there.
You guys were actually roommates,
We were roommates
when you didn't have to be roommates,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
I mean, all the players, if you wanted, had a single room.
Right. So it's I've known him. Well, I've known him since 1990, and we were roommates for a while. And I used to get up and get him water in Arizona, and we were snoring all night long.
Secrets can be told now. This slowed down for the last out, so this was in doubt right until it's in your glove.
Right there. Right. You see how I start back on it?
Yes.
I'll stop and pause for a second, and I'll start back on it. There it is. It came out.
And you know who hit that ball, right?
Gary DiSarcina.
Was it?
Yeah. Rex
And
Hudler.
who hit the line drive before it?
Hudler.
That's the one I was thinking
Rex
of.
Hudler.
Rex Hudler. That's right.
You know, the next day at batting practice, he came up and he was talking to Jerry Nairn. He said, "Jerry, I just made this young man's career."
I thought it was the other way around. I'd forgotten that. Rex hit the one before it.
Matt Harrison with an impressive strikeout looking for Mauer. 2 outs here in the fourth.
What was the closest ball to being a hit in that game?
You know, Tom, there was a lot of good plays. I just made that one there in the ninth. Dean Palmer made a great play on a ball that came up on him coming in on the grass. Esteban Beltre threw a ball across the diamond to Will, who had to stretch way wide to get it.
Line drive, and Andy Chavez can't run that one down off the wall. And Kadire has a 2-out double. Second base hit allowed by Harrison.
Juan actually made a nice running play in the left center field gap. So there was a
bunch of them.
There was a bunch of plays, and I was just fortunate enough to be there at the end. But I tell you this, about the 8th inning, you know how you always hear as a kid, you know, you got to want the ball hit to you. Want to hit to you. I can guarantee you. There was 8 guys in that field that we didn't want that ball anywhere close to.
Yeah, that sounds good, but it's not really reality.
Not in that game.
So when you saw those two coming to you, was there just a frozen split second of panic and then instinct takes over and you just make the play?
The first one, no. The second one, I won't say panic, but when I lost that ball, there was, you know, if this ball doesn't get caught, I'm in trouble. But the first one, it was either you go and you dive and you catch it or you don't. But I made my mind up on that ball I dove for that I was diving for this ball if I was 20 feet from it, because I can't let it drop without some sort of effort. And it hung up just long enough for me to get there.
History was preserved. Strike one to Kubel. Thrown out by Torrealba, a little dribbler, his first time up. So again, the Rangers Hall of Fame luncheon Friday, August 5th, noon at the Arlington Convention Center. Rusty and Tom will be there honoring Kenny Rogers. Many other Ranger greats. Nolan Ryan, of course. Rumor has it David Clyde even.
I don't know.
I heard
Possibility?
I heard David was coming back. There's been a lot of great memories of Ranger baseball. One of the, for people that go back far enough, was David Clyde's first game here right out of high school at the old stadium. One of the few sellouts we had way back then.
That was the first sellout, and it was seen at the time as saving the franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, that single game gate was enough to ensure that they'd stay here at least for the rest of the year.
Probably close. But every time he pitched after that, it was a much bigger crowd than would have been normal. Back then, if there was 10,000 people, everyone felt it was a big crowd.
That was against the Twins.
Yeah.
2-1 pitch. Cruz comes in to make the catch, and that takes care of the Twins' fourth. And great visiting with you and reminiscing, Rusty. We'll look forward to next Friday.
See you next Friday, Russ.
All right.
Ranger great Rusty Greer in a 0-0 game, headed to the bottom of the fourth. question for tonight. Elvis Andrus, one of 6 players in Texas history with consecutive 30 stolen base seasons. Name the other 5. Elvis at 30 exactly. 3rd in the league. As he leads off the Ranger 4th, Scott Baker, 31 pitches, 32 now, and 24 strikes. Elvis first time up, popped to Godier at first. He's edge of the grass, as is Valencia at 3rd. Rangers hits by Hamilton. 2-out double in the first, and Moreland a 1-out single in the second. And a leadoff single by Elvis to begin the 4th.
Baker's only thrown 34 pitches in the game. Both pitchers have really low pitch counts. Very similarly pitched games by both guys.
Baker since May 22nd, which is also the date where Matt Harrison's strong last couple of months kicked in. Baker's ERA since then 1.77. Only Jared Weaver has a lower ERA in the American League over that period of time. And now second time for Hamilton, who doubled off the wall and right on an 0-2 pitch with 2 outs in the first.
Yeah, both doubles in the game have been extremely hard hit line drives. The one you just mentioned about Josh and the ball Godier hit to center field was equally well hit.
And 1-1 to Josh. Baker 8-5 this year, career record of 63-47. That's the 5th best winning percentage in Twins franchise history, behind people like Johan Santana, Camilo Pascual, Mudcat Grant, and Jim Perry. But his hero growing up in Shreveport, Nolan Ryan. And another solid base hit by Hamilton. Andrus headed for 3rd. The Revere throw, not in time. Rangers on the corners with nobody out.
Well, good base running by Elvis, but you know, there's a game plan. Revere fielded that ball fairly deep in center field, and I think if the Rangers have the opportunity, they'll try to run on Revere. He has a lot of strengths. One of them is not his throwing arm, though. Comes up and makes an accurate throw, but there's not a whole lot on it, and Elvis is easily safe at 3rd base. Sets up a chance for a pretty good inning right here with the Young and Cruz and Moreland coming up.
So Elvis, the first Ranger to get as far as 3rd base. Michael Young fouled out to Godier with Hamilton at 2nd in the first. And takes high, but again, Michael coming again with a 6-game hitting streak. And 71 runs batted in. Tied for 7th in the league. Base hit center field. Rangers lead it 1-0.
Rangers going back towards center field in this inning. 3 straight well-hit singles.
RBI number 72 for Michael Young, who continues to lead the American League with runners in scoring position.
That's a high fastball. Probably not a strike. No, it wasn't. It was out of the strike zone. I don't think Michael's ever seen a high fastball that he didn't like. He has the knack of driving those high fastballs to center and right center field on a line.
1,985 base hits now. Michael Young 15 away from 2,000. Who knows where he'll stop? Visit by Rick Anderson, the Twins pitching coach. For Baker, a rare earned run. He had not allowed an earned run in 20 1/3 innings tonight and his previous 3 starts. But the 3 consecutive singles by Andrews, Hamilton, and Young have the Rangers on the board. And with still nobody out, here's Nelson Cruz, the American League's top run producer this month. And hitting exactly .500 on the homestand. Nelly is 13 for 26, a homer, 12 runs batted in. 8 for his last 9 with runners in scoring position. And Baker unable to get him to chase 2 breaking balls out of the zone.
And this is a tough situation for Baker because he knows how Nelly's been swinging the bat. But he doesn't have a whole lot of margin for error because he's got 2 men on and nobody out. And now he's down 2-0, and he's got to be thinking, what do I throw him right here? I have to throw him a strike. I throw him a fastball, and if I do, inside, outside, definitely don't want to hit the middle of the plate, even though you can't really afford to go to 3-0 either. Oh, he came right after him with a fastball. Nelly missed it.
As we said earlier, Baker better this year by keeping the fastball down.
Well, that one's right down the middle of the plate. That's one you're ahead 2-0. You missed a great chance to drive a ball out of the ballpark right there. And now if you're Nelly, you're saying, okay, I missed that one. I hope I get another one.
Baker has been missing the fastball at the knees. Definitely this inning. Really all game. That one is hit deep. Way back, but foul.
I hit it, unfortunately, right off the end of the bat. That was a pretty nice catch by the guy with a Murphy shirt back there. I didn't know he caught it. I thought he slipped and fell down.
Well, he got away with another one.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good, but Nelly hit it right off the end of the bat. And there's the catch. Nice play. So he threw him a fastball down the middle, then he hung a curveball right down the middle of the plate.
So a lucky couple of pitches there by Baker after falling behind 2-0 on breaking balls.
Especially to Nelly. He definitely got away with a couple.
High fastball, but not deep, ranging into right center field. Kubel takes it away from Ben Revere, and it is deep enough to allow Hamilton to take third. So there's the first out of the inning, but again the Rangers have runners on the corners, and Mitch Moreland will be the batter, and he singled his first trip.
Just want to get the ball in the air right now. You're not thinking ground ball. You're thinking elevate the ball, get it in the air.
Mitch now on the homestand, 8 for 21. And with runners in scoring position, he's really been coming around. 6 for his last 12. He's got a lot of game-winning runs batted in, 11. But his average with runners in scoring position, not that impressive, but it is lately. And he takes high. 40% he has brought home the man from third with less than 2 outs. In this case, Hamilton.
In that situation, you'd like to see that number significantly higher than that. And that's something in these situations that Mitch will grow with, get more comfortable with, get better at. Because you don't have to hit 400 or 500 or 600 to get the runner in from third base with less than 2 outs. You can make an out and do it. Right now, you can hit a long fly ball to get the runner in. You can hit a chopper in the infield to get the runner in. One thing you don't want to do is hit a hard ground ball into a double play or strike out.
As he was with Cruz, Baker behind 2-0 and now 3-0. What should the percentage be?
You know, Dave, when I was talking, I was thinking, I kind of started talking without knowing exactly what a good number would be. I'm not sure if you looked at the averages around the league, what the, say, top 20% would be. If I had to guess, I'd say it's somewhere around 70%, but I don't really know.
See what Mitch does here at 3-0. He is swinging away and fouls it straight back. Good time to swing away at 3-0?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking for a fastball. You're swinging the bat pretty well right now. Go for it. Eric Josephson told me that Michael Young is 65% in that situation. So I guess somewhere in that vicinity, and you're looking at a solid number. And again, you're not talking about hitting 650. You're talking about 65% of the time you get the runner in, whether it's a base hit, a fly ball out, a ground ball out. You're able to get the runner in.
Swings through that one, and Michael Young thrown out on the aborted hit and run, and there is out number 2.
That's a bad turn of events right there. You're counting on Mitch making some contact right there. And then if he does hit a hard ground ball, you stay out of the double play. But one of the risks on that play on 3-1 is that the hitter feels like he has to swing at a borderline pitch. You don't want to take a strike and have the runner thrown out. And so what ends up happening, at least in that situation, is Mitch swung at ball 4.
And hits a sharp one hopper. Tolbert knocks it down, recovers, and gets the out. Moreland involved in 2 hit runs that weren't thrown out himself after his single in the second. Young thrown out on his swing and a miss here. The Rangers settled for 1 run on 3 straight singles to begin the inning. Tom Grieve and our AT&T trivia answer. Elvis Andrus, one of 6 players in Texas history with consecutive 30 stolen base seasons. The others, Dave Nelson, first 2 years of the franchise. Bump Wills did it 3 straight years. Cecil Espy in the late 80s. Julio Franco, I would never have remembered him, that kind of a stolen base threat. And Tom Goodwin in the late 90s. Steve Busby, how many stolen bases did you pick up before the or did you played before the DH, didn't you?
Yeah, barely. Yeah,
barely.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had a 0.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jim Thome leads off.
Did you have the green light, though? Was it up to you?
No. It was glaring red the entire time. A Ranger red, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Well, what do you think of the job of Matt Harrison through 4?
He has been just short of super. Let's put it that way. He has really pitched well. This is as well, I think, as Matt has executed. Even though he fell behind a couple of guys, or has fallen behind a couple of guys. He's executed his pitch plan very well, I think.
Well, he struck out Thome his first time up. He has struck out Mauer. First time through the lineup. His first 5 outs, and 7 of the first 8 were ground balls. Only 2 outs in the air. So that really is Matt Harrison at his best, isn't it? That sinking average. But that sinker getting high average of ground balls. 65th pitch is grounded foul, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, you know, Dave, he really doesn't have a true sinker. Scott Baker, I think, has a sinker, but Matt does it by moving the ball in and out, keeping it off the good part of the bat, and he gets a lot of ground balls off pitches that are right on the corner or just off the plate, either inside or outside.
Well, that one's in the air and trouble. Off the wall. Jim Thome turned off the Jets about the time he arrived at first base, and he almost literally walks to second. So he's got himself a leadoff double, and the 3rd hit allowed by Harrison.
He tried to come back from a 3-0 count and gives Thome a strike, but a pretty good strike for him to hit the opposite way. Done that a few times in his career.
Yeah.
And right about here, he is no longer running. He's jogging and then walking. Because I mean, at this point, he's almost 41 years old.
Well, there's only about 3 people in the league that are even close to getting a triple on that one, so I don't blame him.
Conserving the energy out there with nobody out, scoring position. Here's Valencia, who grounded to 3rd his first time up. Well, I've actually heard some people question whether Jim Thome is a Hall of Famer.
In my mind, Dave, there's no doubt.
First ballot, isn't he? What's he done not to be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Well, the first ballot thing, that all depends on the mood of the voters at the time. There's not a negative thing you can say about Jim Thome's career. I don't think.
I would agree.
There would be some guys that say, look, he spent too much time as a DH, and DHs can't be first ballot Hall of Famers. I mean, if you want to use that argument, and I don't agree with it. But if people want to be detracting from Jim Thome's career, that's about all you can say.
Well, only A-Rod has more homers among active players. 596, 8th all-time, 1,649 runs batted in, 3 from Tony Perez for 27th all-time. Valencia pops up.
Yeah, I think you might, the people with an argument that want to take the side that he's not a Hall of Famer, if he only had 496 home runs and he's trying to get his 500th, during the era that he came up, it was a home run era, maybe you would have an argument, but when he's zeroing in on 600, that pretty much eliminates the home run argument.
I agree with you.
Fine. He came up during a home run era, but who else hit 600 home runs?
Yeah.
And never even a whisper about how he got his home runs.
No.
And then 1,706 walks, 2 from Mel Ott for 8th on that all-time list. So
he was always a guy that struck out a lot, but he balanced it off by being a high on-base percentage guy.
Yep.
One of the best liked players in baseball. That's by everybody. Never heard a bad word about Jim Thome. Delman Young with a pop-up.
I'll tell you what a nice guy he is. We were in Cleveland one time, and it was my turn for the interview that day, and I had it set up where Jim Thome was going to be the interview, but something came up so he couldn't do the interview, and he went out of his way to get Travis Fryman to take his place for the interview, and Travis Fryman came running over and said, Jim can't do it. I hope you don't mind. He asked me to sit in for him. And that's kind of going above and beyond.
Yeah, never heard of that.
And my only problem was I had to ask Fryman the same question, so I asked him about being a left-hand hitter and all that kind of stuff. I couldn't think of any new questions to ask. So, no, not really, but I just thought that was something that you don't normally experience.
Well, I can count definitely on one hand the number of athletes I've ever interviewed who actually thanked me afterwards, and I actually think he was sincere. Ken Singleton was that way. Magic Johnson, Julius Erving, a very select number with
they're
his
very
manners.
Aware.
Not like we're doing him a favor. It's the other way around, but he is a pleasure to deal with and has been for all these years. So here's Tolbert, who singled his first time up, and that was after Harrison had retired the first 8 Twin batters. His first at bat returning from AAA Rochester just today, replacing the injured Alexi Casilla.
The other side of it, Travis Fryman was right there with him as far as a nice guy. I interviewed him one time in Detroit, and they were just getting done hitting, and he was fielding ground balls at shortstop, and we were set up in front of the first base dugout. And between fielding ground balls, he ran over and said, "I'll be there as soon as I get done fielding ground balls," then ran back out to finish fielding the ground balls.
Man.
So I've got pretty high feelings for both Travis Fryman and Jim Thome.
Yeah.
Some may hold against him that he'd ever won a championship, but how do you put that on him? Harrison deflects that, and it will go as a base hit.
Whoa, that was very close to being a run.
So 2 outs. Thome now at third. Tolbert is 2 for 2. He was only 7 for 36 while he was down at Rochester.
Some pretty good pitching that day. Yeah, I guess you could say Matt saved a run, because if that ball shoots up the middle for a base hit, Thome is probably going to score. As it is, the Rangers get a pretty good bounce because Ian's able to redirect and get the ball before Thome can score. Now, that's someone like Revere at second base. They might have tried to wave him home. Fortunately, it was Thome at second base.
So here's Ben Revere with 2 outs and a chance to tie the game if he can bring Thome in.
I don't know. Do you buy that no championship argument?
Okay, nine times he's been in the postseason. He's been in 4 league championship series, 2 World Series with the Indians, 95 and 97. Jose Mesa is the reason he didn't win a world championship.
I don't buy that, and I really don't buy it that you can't be considered a great all-time quarterback if you haven't won a Super Bowl.
I agree.
I mean, to me, they're stupid arguments. Stupid arguments made up by people that have never put on a pair of shoulder pads or worn a glove before.
640 homer seasons, 1,000 RBI seasons. Harrison, this is how the game began, and this time Revere beats it out, and the bases are loaded.
Well, the Twins get a couple of base hits with a man on second base. They still haven't scored a run yet. Thome couldn't go on that play, because if Thome goes home, that's where the out's going to be made.
So he stays at third. Tolbert moves up to second.
If Thome tries to score on this, Matt's just going to pick it up and tag him. As it is, he makes this almost the same play as he made early in the game. But this time, Revere beats it out.
Yeah, and that's why Torrealba hesitated coming out from behind the plate to go grab that ball.
Yeah, exactly.
He was afraid that he might not have remembered it was Thome, but he was still afraid the guy from third was going to score.
Yep.
So Nishioka now with the chance. 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 15 in the series. Right at Kinsler. That is the man the Rangers wanted up if they had to get a tough out, especially with the bases loaded. So 3 hits allowed by Harrison in the 5th, but it's still 1-0. brought to you by AT&T, Rethink Possible, and by Rise of the Planet of the Apes in theaters August 5th. Dave Barnett, Tom Green, Steve Busby with us in the bottom of the 5th, the bottom third of the order for the Rangers. Torrealba, Davis, and Chavez. They lead Scott Baker 1-0. Hits now even at 5 apiece as Harrison works around a 3-hit Minnesota top of the 5th, but does not allow a run. Torrealba flied to left his first time up.
Yeah, and Baker, after the 3 straight hits, worked out of a first and second no-out jam himself. Rangers opportunity for a big inning there.
Yeah, they settled for 1 run on 3 hits. So a lot of guys on the base paths, only 1 crossing. That was Andrews, who had the leadoff single in the 4th. Torrealba, 5 for his last 8. 5 runs batted in that span. And he shoots that one fair. Long run for Kubel. Torrealba into second base with a leadoff double.
That's the old take 2 and hit to right there. Took a couple of curveballs for strikes. Not sure how he hit that. Looked like he hit it right off the end of the bat.
Hey, did you say Kubel in the corner or a cue ball? Because that's what it looked like.
Cue ball to Kubel.
Yeah, no kidding.
On an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, he tries pretty much the same pitch as before it. Got a little bit more of the plate. That's a thing of beauty right there. That looked like a left-handed slider going down the right field line.
Well, Rangers in need of some breaks after these last 2 games. So again, leadoff man on. Here's Davis, who grounded to first. And that one bends him back. This has been a really good year for Scott Baker. 8-5, 288 earned run average. What development do you see from him this year?
Consistency. And, you know, that 8-5, I think is really misleading, Dave, because when he was pitching earlier in the year, this Twins team was a shell of what they are now and what they really should be. You know, they're still missing Morneau and Span. You know, he's been rock solid, I think. And every time that he's faced the Rangers over the last couple of years, I thought he has really pitched well. I just don't see many flaws in his repertoire.
Yeah, he really is a pitcher. He uses all his pitches. Beat the Rangers with a complete game when they were up in Minnesota. Definitely trying to throw Chris high fastballs.
Yep.
3 straight.
Yeah, you know, people say about Chris Davis, they ask, well, what's the difference? Why can he do that at AAA and not at the big league level? And what Tom just mentioned is one of the reasons why. If he's not able to lay off that high fastball, you've got 80 or 90% of the pitchers at the major league level that will throw that to you time and time again and not make mistakes with it.
Yep. Especially a guy like Baker with the command that he's got.
Yeah.
See what he gets here at 1 and 2. Well, same thing. No breaking ball in the dirt yet.
It's coming if it gets that far. I would guess right about here. You don't want to necessarily want to throw a guy a breaking ball when he's swung through a couple of fastballs. And honestly, when he fouls the ball off the other way that Chris just did is not a great time to do it, but at least you've speeded his swing up a little bit.
Well, punches that one into left field, and that falls fair for a base hit, and Torrealba comes home to make it 2-0. Chris Davis with his 6th run batted into the year.
But I guess you can't really fault the pitch, Buzz. He made the pitch he was trying to make, and Chris fought it off. He didn't really hit it that well. He just dinked it in for a base hit. But I think he made the pitch he was trying to make.
Yeah, the difference, Tom, is about a 4 or 5 inch difference in the pitch that's 4 or 5 more inches inside,
right,
as opposed to one that kind of tailed back over the middle part of the plate. you get that pitch inside where Mauer had the target set, you don't get hardly any good wood on the ball.
Right. Then it probably loops up to the third baseman, maybe.
Well, Davis comes through. Here's Chavez, who bounced to the mound his first time up. And again, if you didn't hear, Craig Gentry placed on the new 7-day concussion disabled list today. And Craig said before the game, this is his 5th concussion, all baseball related. Never played football. High school team in Fort Smith did not field a football team, so Taylor Teagard has been called up.
Oh, we saw in spring training when he ran into that wall playing the White Sox and missed some time. That wasn't a concussion, but he doesn't shy away from contact on the baseball field.
Well, the new guidelines in Major League Baseball this year, mandatory baseline testing for all players and umpires. Players evaluated after being hit in the head by a pitch, batted, or thrown ball, bat, or collision, and that was the case with Craig sliding and having his head collide with the leg of Aaron Hill of Toronto at second base. But he said he's not feeling symptoms as Davis takes off and Chavez fights that one off. But Craig says no headaches, no nausea. He's gotten past that. Neck is still a little bit sore. But the thing about concussions, the more you have them, the more severe they tend to get. And Justin Morneau is a unfortunately perfect example of that.
Yeah, you're right. That happened. The initial problem was about this time last year, I think, wasn't it, with Morneau?
Yeah,
about the middle of last year.
And he was done.
Yeah.
Then you had Corey Koski. You go back a while.
Right.
Corey Koski's career ended because of that.
And Justin Morneau, even when he came back this year, a very different player. Nishioka tracks this pop up. And there's the first out of the Ranger 5th. And we've got our first question tonight from Game Connect. You can log on to FoxSportsSouthwest.com and submit your question. With such an obvious bad call in the Pirates-Braves game last night, 6.5 hours, 19th inning, is there any way to challenge that from Vesta?
I didn't see the play, Buzz. Did you see the play?
Yeah, I saw 2 different angles of it, but just one time each, and I didn't think it was that obvious a bad call. I mean, I thought there was room for doubt no matter which way you called it. But again, I just saw it one time and didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it, to be quite honest.
But if we assume that it was even a more blatantly bad call, the only thing that the home plate umpire could do, and I don't know that I've ever seen it, would be to ask for help from another umpire. I don't think you're liable to see that on a play at the plate with the home plate umpire right on top of it and the other guy's that far away. But there's no basis for replay or anything like that. I think the only thing you could possibly see was it was such a blatantly bad call. The home plate umpire didn't see it, and it was such an easy call to see that one of the umpires could help him out. It'd be very rare that you'd see that, but I don't know what else you could do to counteract that kind of a call at the plate.
It was Jerry Meals in this case, and he did admit the next day that he blew a game-deciding call. Meanwhile, Kinsler works the count to 3-0.
I guess the one everybody thinks of the most was Galarraga's perfect game in the last play of the game, and that play at first base. That brought back the instant replay calls.
And Ian swinging away at 3-0, pops it up. Nishioka handles the first 2 outs here in the 5th. So with Davis still at first, it'll bring up Elvis Andrus, who has popped up. Last time up, led off the 4th with a single and scored. 2 singles later, driven in by Michael Young. And when you're talking about the king of bad calls, it still has to come down, I think, to Don Deckinger.
Well, we were watching a show the other day before the game started, and they gave the 50 worst calls in baseball history, and that won. So I think you're right, Dave.
Not many have decided World Series. Unfortunately, that's what he's remembered for. Thanks as always, Steve Busby.
Pleasure. Talk to you guys after a while.
Got the Rangers a run. We head to the 6th. It is 2-0 Texas. With Carter Blood Care for the Great American Give. When you give blood to Carter Blood Care in August, you'll automatically be registered for a chance to win a Fox Sports Southwest VIP experience here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Well, Matt Harrison moving into the 6th, now leading 2-0. And he'll have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Minnesota lineup, Mauer, Kadire, and Kubel. He's handled Joe Mauer both times. A grounder to short. Last time up, struck him out looking on a 3-2 pitch. Twins with 5 base hits, 3 in the 5th, but managed not to score. Thome led off with a double after 2 pop-ups. Tolbert got him to third on an infield hit. Thome had to hold at third on an infield hit by Revere. And then Nishioka ended it by grounding into a fielder's choice. And Harrison curves Mauer again, gets that one in for a strike.
Now, one of those had to be a strike. One on the inside part, one on the outside part. Yep, turns out they both could have been strikes. I guess it is true. One of them had to be a strike. Both of them could have been strikes.
Matt at 83 pitches now. And a 3-1 to Mauer. But last time up he got it to 3-2 and still took care of him. A little bloop will fall in front of Hamilton. And a leadoff single by Mauer without much in the way of contact to begin this 6th inning. And let's hear from Jim Knox.
All right, Dave, with former Cowboy Chad Hennings right here, because tonight is Veterans to Work night here at the ballpark, like 500 veterans on hand. And Chad, you're a part of that. Explain, what is this all about?
It's an opportunity to help veterans transition when they get off active duty to come and to find them jobs. I mean, the national average for veterans unemployed is roughly the same as the national average, almost 9% where we are nationally. But that's too much. That's too much. We owe these guys every opportunity possible for serving our country. We want to do whatever we can to help them.
A single up the middle right there. Now, those who want to help, what do they need to do? Is there a website to go to, anything?
What's the website, Andy?
You can go to our website at Majesty Hospitality Staffing or 214-634-7508. We've got 20 companies now dedicated to put veterans back to work. That's why this committee was formed, to give veterans an opportunity to get back in the workplace and take that competitive advantage that they bring back from their military service.
There we go, guys. Keep up the great work. And Chad threw a pretty good pitch before the game. Opening pitch right over the plate, and he was on top of the mound. Didn't cheat. He wasn't on the front of the mound. He was on top.
Pure shot put. There we got it there.
You'll say hello to Jim and
We got to get back to appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
All right, here's Kubel with 2 on, nobody out. And yeah, Tom, that was one of the better opening
looked good.
ceremonial first pitches of the year.
Looked like he's played some baseball before.
Bert Blyleven didn't stand on the rubber yesterday.
No.
He also didn't curve you, as I urged him to do.
Goodness. Threw it a little harder than I would have liked, but fortunately it was in an area where I could see it and catch it. If it was down around my knees, I would have been in trouble.
There's the newly minted Hall of Famer.
There haven't been many guys in the league swinging the bats better against the Rangers than Michael Kadire. Seems like he has a good at bat time and time again against the Rangers.
Should be 2 here. Kinsler, Andrews on to Moreland. Jason Kubel also a very tough out in this series.
One thing Matt's done is he's induced double play grounders this year as well as anybody in the league. And that wasn't a hard hit ball. Watch Kadire's going to go in hard. And watch Elvis how he has to jump over Kadire. Now, you don't think it takes an athlete to play shortstop or second base in the big leagues when you've got a guy 215 pounds bearing down on you like that. That takes some talent. And that was a nice play. Nice pickup by Ian, because that was a slowly hit ball that took a little short hop on him. He had to field it cleanly and get it to Elvis, who had to get out of the way of Kadire. Nicely done right there by Matt to make the pitch and the infielders to turn that double play.
And that is updated now. 23 double plays, most in the American League, induced by Matt Harrison. So 2 outs. Mauer at third. Here's Thome, who has struck out and doubled, and the Rangers with the shift backing Kinsler out into short right field. Andrews on the right side of second base. But Thome delivers a base hit and the first Minnesota run of the night, and it's 2-1.
Well, you had the feeling after the double play that Matt was going to be able to get out of that first and second no-out jam. Thome still swinging the bat well. He may be up there in years, but that's a nice, quick, powerful swing right there. I mean, a lot of guys 25 that wish they could swing the bat like that.
26th run batted in this year. Career RBI number 1,650. He is 2 away from Tony Perez for 27th on that all-time list. And 2 for 3 tonight. Gets the Twins on the board with their 3rd hit for the 2nd straight inning. And here's Valencia as we look at the Ford leaderboard. And the top 4 starting rotations in the American League, all in the West. The Angels, A's, Mariners, just behind Seattle, the Rangers, and a little bit bigger gap between the Rangers and the Yankees. The 5th best rotation in terms of ERA.
And it just goes to show you that in the American League West, the Mariners and the A's may be down a little bit, but in any 3-game series, you go in there and catch your top 3 starters, and they're throwing the ball well, you're going to have low-scoring games, and anything can happen in those games. So good pitching has a way of neutralizing things.
Endy Chavez comes in to handle the little fly ball by Valencia. But the Twins on the board, a run on 3 hits. And it's 2-1. Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is up to $1,300 and dinner for two to Sonic Drive-In. And the Rangers tonight are hitting for Diana Woodall from Waxahachie. If a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Diana Woodall from Waxahachie will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And the Rangers lead cut to 2-1 with Hamilton, Young, and Cruz in the bottom of the sixth against Scott Baker. Josh 2 for 2, a double and a single. After coming into this game just 3 for 18 with 9 strikeouts against Baker. And he's figured it out with a couple of hard hit base hits his first 2 trips. Baker missing with the backdoor breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He stayed with it and made the catch. Stunned him for a second. He didn't go down. And he's got the souvenir. Oh, 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 yes.
Just foul. That had double written all over it.
Yeah, Kadyr's playing right on the line. So it's going to take a pretty hard hit ball to sneak by him.
Big opening right through the middle where Josh had his single last time up.
It's amazing, isn't it, how different teams see different players.
Well hit left field. Delman Young backs up at the edge of the warning track.
We just saw that huge shift that they put on against Josh in the previous series, and in this series the Twins infield is straight away, not even shifted at all.
Just thinking the same thing, so we'll expect Josh to face the more severe shifts when the Rangers have their 3 games coming up in Toronto. Going with that pitch away. And Young retires Josh. First out of the 6th, and a breaking ball strike to Michael Young, who has an RBI single. 3rd straight Ranger hit in that 4th inning. To center field, and that's in there for a hit in front of Revere. Another 2-hit night for Michael Young. The only other game still going on in the American League, Toronto in the bottom of the 8th, leading Baltimore 8-4 at Rogers Center, where the Rangers will open a 3-game series tomorrow night. Blue Jays batting in the bottom of the 8th. And they are right at 500 coming into tonight at 52-52. Tomorrow night it'll be a rematch of Alexio Gondo and Brett Cecil, who shut out the Rangers last weekend. Baker's pitch count very low. This will be just his 74th pitch. And he's gotten Cruz both times. He's grounded to 3rd and fly to right. And Cruz last time up just missing a couple of pitches down the middle after getting ahead of the count 2-0. Blue Jays game now moved into the top of the 9th inning. Baltimore batting their last shot. Pop up right side here for Tolbert. And Nelly tonight 0 for 3. Your chance to get in another game this summer and prepare for school to start is Sunday, August 7th. The Rangers host the Indians that night at 7:05. And the first 10,000 fans 13 and under will receive a red binder featuring 6 Rangers players. For tickets, visit TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. So here's Mitch Moreland, who has singled and then thrown out on what definitely appeared to be a botched hit and run last time up. He was at the plate and swung and missed at a 3-1 pitch. Michael Young thrown out, trying to get to second base.
On a true hit and run, the batter has to swing whether it's a ball or a strike. On that particular play, it's more like a run and hit. The batter doesn't have to swing if it's out of the strike zone. He swings if it's a strike. The problem was that on 3-1, I think Mitch was a little bit afraid to take a close pitch because he didn't want it to be taken for a strike and then have Michael thrown out. So he swung at a borderline pitch and missed it. And then Michael was thrown out at second. Pitch that might have been ball 4.
One ball, one strike. And then with Mitch at first back in the second, did it look to you just like a missed signal for Torrealba at the plate because he didn't swing?
Well, you don't know exactly who missed it, but I don't think in that particular case Ron would have put the straight steal on. So either Mitch thought that was the sign or it was a hit and run. Mitch got the sign and Torrealba didn't get the sign because he didn't swing at the pitch. I would have to think that one of them missed a sign there. Just a guess because we don't know for sure.
Yeah, a good curve for a strike, and it's 1-2. Baker behind very few hitters. 78 pitches, only 23 balls. There has not been a walk by either pitcher in this game. Both teams with 8 hits. Rangers getting their runs in the 4th and the 5th. After leadoff hits by Andrus and Torrealba. Minnesota's run also after a leadoff single by Mauer in the top of the inning. And for the second straight time, Moreland works the count full. Only been a couple of other 3-0 counts from Baker tonight. You got Torrealba to fly out at 3-1, and Kinsler popped up at 3-0 in the 5th. And with Michael running at 3-2, Moreland will get another shot.
That one missed all the protection. Got all arm.
Bauer could smile about it, though. Doesn't need a few seconds to walk that one off. Of course, it was either baseball or played quarterback at Florida State, so he's taken some hits in his time. And he hangs on to that foul tip. So a base hit in the 6th, and just the second strikeout of the game by Scott Baker. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. A pitcher's duel, first of this series. Into the 7th inning, it's 2-1. Dave Barnett along with Tom Grieve. Matt Harrison just a tick better than Scott Baker through 6. They have each allowed 8 base hits. Matt in each of the last 2 innings allowed 3, but only 1 run. And he's handled Delman Young both times tonight. He's grounded to short and popped to short. Pitch number 95 for Matt. 56 strikes, 39 balls. Like Baker, he has 2 strikeouts. And has not walked a batter. So 2 starters who were among the best in baseball for better than the last 2 months. So they have been right there showing us why tonight. That one is lifted to fairly deep center field. Plenty of time for Chavez. Let's go back now to our Fox Sports Southwest studio for McDonald's Dollar Drink Game Break from Tim Matthews. All right, Tim, and so because of that result, the Rangers lead is just a game and a half. They need to hang on to this to have a 2-game lead heading out on the road to Toronto and Detroit. Because the Angels definitely are not slowing down one bit. The Angels are 26-12, best record in the American League over that period of time. Tolbert retired for the first time tonight. And let's check in with Leslie McCaslin.
Well, we know that Ron Washington isn't afraid to call out member of his team when they make errors on defense or mistakes like last night and stealing a base. But, you know, tonight he said it's time for his team to get mentally tough.
Well, those guys have pride out there, and they certainly don't like to be kicking the baseball. And, you know, at some point, you know, we straighten it out a little bit. But, you know, we're in the grind right now, and it's just going to take us to get a little bit more mentally tough, and I do believe we will.
He just wants his team to play up to their potential, and so far he hasn't seen that. Hopefully he'll see that down the stretch. Back to you guys.
All right, Leslie, there's a good first pitch curve for a strike to Ben Revere. Revere an infield hit in 3 trips. And that is fielded foul by Chris Davis, and it's 0-2.
Revere's got the chopper to the infield working today. He's chopped a couple back to the mound. He's 1 for 2 on those. Got Arthur and Yoshi warming up out in the bullpen.
Well, last night, Darren Oliver, Mark Lowe, an inning each, and Tateyama came in to get the final out of the 9th inning. With the Twins scoring 3 unearned runs, putting that game out of reach. And a little humpback liner from Revere to Elvis. And a 1-2-3 7th inning on just 8 pitches for Matt Harrison. It's still 2-1. Stretch time at Arlington. Leagues in your community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy Youth Baseball programs, go to youthsportswire.com. 2-1 lead, and the bottom of the order against Baker here. The Rangers 7th, Torrealba, Davis, and Chavez. And Torrealba led off the 5th with a double on an 0-2 pitch and scored the second Ranger run. Singled home by the on-deck hitter Davis. And tonight's Coors Light Cold Hard Blast off of Carl Pavano. Torrealba's first 3-run home run since April 21st of 2008. On Tuesday night, his 4th long ball as a Ranger. Baker only at 84 pitches. Matt Harrison at 102 through 7. But after a strong 7th inning, a 1-2-3 inning, in fact, Tom, you have to expect him to come out for the 8th, even after the bullpen got up last inning.
Well, he had a pretty easy inning. Looked like he was throwing the ball pretty well. Had the bottom of the order. Now he's got to go through the middle of the order this inning.
Ground ball and shortstop. It's Nishioka, and the throw pulling Kadire off the back, but he gets the tag on Torrealba, according to Mike Linders.
I think he's going to say he's out of the baseline. I don't think he tagged him. I think he said he was out of the baseline.
Ron Washington's had his say. It heads back to the dugout.
A bad throw from Nishioka. It pulled Kadire off the bag. I don't think he touches him, but it's going to be ruled that Torrealba went out of the baseline to avoid the tag.
Thought he got him right there, but no, he actually didn't.
Watch the umpire. Watch the umpire.
Yep. Out of the base pass. So it still goes as a 6-3 ground out. And there's no cost for that bad throw by Nishioka. 1-0 to Davis, who has grounded to first, and last time up punched an RBI single to left field, scoring Torrealba. And it was 2-0 Rangers at that point, the only Minnesota run in the 6th. Baker thought to be on about a 100 pitch limit tonight, having spent some time recently on the DL with elbow soreness. Last time out, he beat Detroit 4-1, ending an 11-game losing streak for the Twins in that series through 82 pitches in 5 innings. No runs on 3 hits. And tonight, he has been just about at his best, getting ahead of almost every hitter. No walks. Getting the ball put in play. And limiting the damage to 8 hits. Producing only 2 runs and a backdoor breaking ball to strike out Davis. There's his 3rd strikeout.
Oh, nice slider. He's got a nice curveball, nice slider, and that's what he uses right there. Brings it back, just touches the outside corner. Borderline pitch, tough pitch to hit. Probably got as good a chance that'll be called a ball as you do it hitting it for a base hit.
But all year long, the Rangers, the toughest team in the league to get a strikeout, and Baker averaging 8.5 per 9 innings, 8th in the American League. So only 3. That's not bad at all. Chavez has grounded to the mound and popped to short tonight. After going 2 for 4 against the lefty Bryant Dunsing last night, as you look at Baker's line, About to throw his 93rd pitch. Ron Gardenhire has not had anybody up in his bullpen. Checks his swing, but it's in there, 1-2. The Ranger bullpen is just Tateyama now. Rhodes was up with him earlier. Looking ahead to the Minnesota 8th, they're 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Nishioka, Mauer, and Kadire. So that will be a challenge, at least after Nishioka, who's 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 16 in the series. Then Kubel and Tomey. Mauer has taken some tough foul tips the last couple innings. Although you never know what to look at him. But as we said, it was either baseball or play quarterback at Florida State. Great quarterback, National Player of the Year. Creighton-Durham High School in St. Paul. Won 3 different National Player of the Year awards as a quarterback. And Chavez caught looking. So a 1-2-3 inning for Scott Baker with a couple of called strike threes to polish it off. We head to the 8th. It's still 2-1 Rangers. Fifth inning, Jim Thome, a leadoff double, 2 pop-ups, an infield hit by Tolbert, and then this from Ben Revere, fielded by Harrison, is thrown not in time. And so the bases were loaded, but Nishioka followed by grounding into an inning-ending fielder's choice, so the Twins unable to score despite 3 hits in that inning. And it is the pinch hitter Trevor Plouffe leading off the 8th. After Nishioka went 0 for 3 with 3 ground outs and the 1 for 16, as we said, in the series. Only a couple of balls out of the infield. So the rookie Plouffe getting a shot here, with Mauer and Kadire to follow. 6 outs away from a series equaling win, but they will be 6 hard-earned outs. Right field, Cruz going back on the track, and he hauls that one in.
Well, pretty well hit ball by Plouffe. Matt was down 3-1, had to throw a strike. Bottom line is he had to throw a strike and he got an out.
Arthur Rhodes back up in the bullpen alongside Tateyama. And in the Minnesota bullpen now, they have Glenn Perkins and Phil Dumatre. Both left-handers. Harrison at 107 pitches. He has thrown as many as 119 this year. As you see, the Twins bullpen, and big arm there is Perkins, who has been just about unhittable for a long stretch out of the bullpen for the Twins. Joe Mauer is grounded to short, struck out looking, single to lead off the sixth, and scored the lone run allowed so far by Harrison on the third hit of that inning. Thome singled him home. Just off the corner, 1-2.
Another one of those games for a Ranger pitcher where in the past 102 pitches, 7 innings, that would have been it. Go to the bullpen. See ya. Oh, that's not strike 3. Well, I thought it was 2-1. They had 1 and 2 on the scoreboard, but
yep.
I think the count was 2-1.
We had it right after all at 2-1. Now 2-2.
The first pitch was called a ball, not a strike.
Very close there again, and now it's full.
Yep, definitely outside. Definitely keeping the ball away from Mauer.
He has seen a lot of pitches.
The thing you love about Matt, just talking about how this is another example of the pitcher being asked, give me one more inning, give me 10 more pitches. Not 7 innings and 102, going for 8 innings and 115. And that last pitch that he threw, 95 miles an hour, that's the best velocity of any pitch he's thrown all night after 112 pitches.
This is the 20th pitch to Mauer alone, and there is the first walk of the night for Matt Harrison. So the tying run on base with 1 out here in the 8th, and the 113 pitches now. Ron Washington will come out with right-handed hitting Kadire next, followed by a couple of left-handed hitters, Kubel and Thome. Boy, but Matt Harrison continues his better than 2-month string of outstanding pitching. And a well-deserved standing ovation as he leaves from 30,406 tonight at the ballpark. Tateyama coming in.
Kentucky. Big-time fan for Fort Worth. Getting married this Saturday. This guy, Cecil, could have gone anywhere, but she wanted to come to the ballpark with all of her wedding party here. 68 strong. Here's the bag. Here's that. Congratulations. Any chance this wedding could be called off this Saturday?
If Ian Kinsler proposes, I would say yes.
And then, Cecil, you would be out of there, buddy.
Sorry.
There we go. Well, congratulations. That's not going to happen. Congratulations. Best of luck this Saturday to a couple of big-time Rangers fans, Dave.
Yeah, Ian is long since spoken for, but I'm sure he appreciates the sentiment. Verizon Wireless called to the bullpen, and Tateyama pitching for the third straight night. He worked the 7th inning on Tuesday, walked Young, and then got the next 3. 2 batters last night, walked Valencia, and struck out Jason Repko. So now he faces the dangerous Michael Kadire. A double and a single and 3 trips tonight. And against the Rangers, a .480 hitter. 3 homers, 11 runs batted in. He has hit in all 8 games in the season series. 12 straight against Ranger pitching. You talk about a challenge here for Yoshi. But he gets out in front of him, 0-2.
It's almost like Kadire was expecting one of those slow curveballs. Instead, Yoshi sneaks a couple of fastballs in there to get ahead in the count, 0-2. And it would appear that Mark Lowe is not available tonight. Tommy Hunter is also throwing down there with Arthur Rhodes.
Does he check his swing? Yes.
If he brought that in a little closer, I think Kadire might have reached for it, but just a little too far outside. He held. He came close, but he held.
And if you're thinking double play, no Twin has grounded into more of those than Kadire, 14. That would be the ideal ending to this 8th. Runner goes, and it's fouled off. Bauer was taking off.
A lot of trust in your hitter right there. 1 ball and 2 strikes, moving the runner. Kadire was trying to go to right field with it, too.
Tateyama unscored on his last 4 appearances. 7 strikeouts to 17 batters faced in that stretch. But Kadire still dangerous with 2 strikes. Reaches out and spoils that one as well. And if you're thinking about Mauer as a running threat, he has not attempted a stolen base this year. And of course, spent a couple of months on the DL with the now famous diagnosis of bilateral leg weakness. Sixth pitch of the at bat, and it is 2-2. And again, 2 left-handed hitters to follow Kadire, Kubel and Tomey. With Rhodes now done throwing in the bullpen. Game in Toronto is over. The Blue Jays winning 8-5 over Baltimore. And the Rangers headed to the Rogers Center to start a 3-game series there tomorrow night. Mauer runs again, and again Kadire spoils it. So this now it's going to be at least an 8-pitch battle. as Torrealba takes that foul tip where there wasn't any padding to protect it. Toronto's win for Carlos Villanueva, who improves to 6-2. 4 homers in the game, none by Jose Bautista. Mauer not going, and Kadire strikes out. 2 outs in the 8th.
Well, it was a nice battle. Kadire's a good hitter, veteran hitter. He tried to go to right field several times. He hung in there well, and finally Tadayama gets him with a slow curveball.
.71 miles an hour to take care of Kadire in the 8-pitch battle. So 2 outs, tying run still at first base, and now down to Arthur Rhodes against Jason Kubel when we return. TXA 21, the rematch. Alexi Ogando pitched very well, but not as well as Brett Cecil, who shut out the Rangers 3-0 last weekend, and they go tomorrow night, the first of 3 at Rogers Center. Arthur Rhodes pitched in the first game of this series in the 8th inning, and it was to Jason Kubel, the third batter he faced in that inning. After he retired, Mauer on a fly ball walked Kadire. Kubel hit a 2-run homer, and Valencia followed with a double. He got the second out and then gave up an RBI double to Trevor Plouffe. So a very rocky 3-run, 3-hit 8th inning in the game that the Rangers were going to win 20-6. But now the game on the line here as Rhodes faces Kubel again. Jason tonight 0 for 3. With 6 for 16 in the series, 6 runs batted in. And Ron Washington showed a lot of confidence in the 41-year-old from Waco, whose ERA went up a full run in that inning on Monday to 5.09. But the number's still good against lefties. Wash is counting on here for that to continue. And the first pitch a little bit high. Now before that inning, Rhodes had been scored on in just one of his previous 10 outings. Good pitch there for a swing and a miss. One of the biggest assignments of the year for Rhodes here. And he is a strike away.
A couple of good pitches right there. The slider for the swing and a miss, and then a fastball on the knees on the outside corner. Definitely want to keep it away from Kubel after the way he's hit a couple of balls in this series.
Kubel, a .310 hitter. Waits for the 1-2 pitch. And to center field, Chavez started in, now stops and makes the catch, and Arthur Rhodes wins the rematch against the tough Twins right fielder. Still 2-1. In honor of Shannon Stone, the Brownwood firefighter who lost his life in the tragic accident here a couple of weeks ago. You can contribute at the Rangers Foundation kiosk here at the ballpark, at any Metroplex Plains Capital Bank, or online at texasrangers.com/fund. Scott Baker gone after 7 innings of 2-run 8-hit baseball. He struck out 4, including the last 2 he faced, and 3 of the last 4. Didn't walk a batter. Arthur Rhodes, after getting the huge 3rd out of the 8th inning. Scott Baker threw 97 pitches, right at about the 100 limit that Ron Gardenhire discussed before the game. And now Phil Dumatre comes on to work to the top of the order here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ian Kinsler tonight 0 for 3. And the Rangers saw Dumatre on Monday night in an inning and 2/3. This will be Trevor Plouffe, the new second baseman for the Twins. Stays in after hitting for Nishioka, and Tolbert moves from second to short. So Kinsler 0 for 4 now at a 0 for 14. Elvis Andrus 1 for 3, led off the 4th with a single. Advanced on a single by Hamilton, scored on a single by Michael Young. That put the Rangers up 1-0. Their second run scored in the next inning, a Torrealba double followed by an RBI single by Chris Davis. Neftali Feliz, who has been the subject of some pretty pointed comments the last couple of days by Ron Washington and Nolan Ryan, preparing for another save opportunity. After his Tuesday night misadventures. Washington yesterday spending basically his entire pregame media session talking about Feliz and the fact that he wishes he would see him pitch with more urgency, more fire. And Feliz, as this ball is hit to center field and Revere is there. Feliz, for his part, when those comments were relayed to him, said, well, I'm more confident this year. That's why I look a little different than last year. Last year I was nervous on the mound. But after 40 saves in a Rookie of the Year season, he's out there with more confidence. But the numbers this year to last year just don't compare at all. But he's getting ready to jump back on the horse with a similar opportunity.
That's why you have to have a short memory, as they say, for a closer. As you can blow one day and be asked to come back the next and get the job done.
Josh Hamilton's had a good night, a double, a single. Retired only on a fly to left. Looking ahead to the Twins' ninth, there's 6, 7, and 8 hitters: Tomey, Valencia, and Young. Feliz faced all 3 of those in the 9th inning on Tuesday. One and 2 to Hamilton with 2 outs. Rangers need to win to stay 2 up on the Angels, who beat Detroit this afternoon 12-7. Twins hoping to win and pick up another game on the Tigers and get within 5 games in the Central. And within 5 games of 500. Very close. 3 and 2.
Trying not to give Josh anything he can get the good part of the bat on.
That's exactly what happens here, though. Extra bases for Hamilton. He is thinking 3. And the relay not in time. A triple for Josh Hamilton.
Well, he did a pretty good job of keeping the ball away until that pitch. And that's why he was trying to keep the ball away. Well, Josh has hit a couple of balls, all 3 balls hard today that he's had hits with. All he had to do is get them up in the air a little bit. And they would have gone a long way, longer way. Lucky that didn't go out of the ballpark. That's got home run written all over it. As it is, it's a line shot triple of the gap.
All 3 of Josh's hits tonight, line shots. Homer from a cycle. And boy, is that a big insurance run with 2 outs at third base. Here is Young. A nice stop by Mauer. Michael tonight 2 for 3. His first hit was in the 4th, an RBI single, which put the Rangers on top 1-0. And again at the top of the league with runners in scoring position. Mauer will be joined by Rick Anderson in this conversation. Michael's RBI is 72nd of the year. He's top 7 in the league. All this to try and hold down a win for Matt Harrison. It would be well deserved. 7 1/3 innings. 1 run on 8 hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Well, that was to the last batter he faced. Mauer in the 8th. Tatayama and Rhodes each retired their man. Tatayama striking out Kadire. Rhodes getting Kubel to fly to center to keep it a 2-1 game. And now again, Michael ready to average up 2 more points tonight to 333. They decided to walk him. That's what that discussion was about. And take their chances with Nelson Cruz, who was 0 for 3 tonight and 0 for 4 last night. So, Tom, kind of pick your poison, and Ron Gardenhire is seeing the Young have a better night than Cruz.
Well, the other thing is, even though Nelly has been hot, Michael's hitting about 60 points higher. So right here, you're not worried about power. You're worried about who's got the best chance of getting a base hit to knock in the run. And in that particular case, Michael's got a better chance. He's a better hitter for average. And so Ron Gardner just playing the percentages right there. No right-handers available in this situation. They've all pitched a lot. Nathan's the closer. Capps has pitched a couple of times. So has Burnett and Swarsak.
Dumontre Monday got Cruz to ground to third and starts him with the strike. Ellie tonight's grounded to third, fly to right, and pop to second. But those numbers with runners in scoring position, 8 for his last 10. And for the whole month of July, is at 500 with runners in scoring position. No one's driven more runs in the league this month than Cruz. Takes that one just inside, and it's 1-1. Young and Kubel left and right very deep. Revere not quite as deep in center. 2-1.
I'm sure the long conversation that Anderson had with his pitcher revolved around walking Young. How are you going to pitch to Cruz, knowing that Moreland's a left-hand hitter and he would be the third hitter? They walked Michael, pitching carefully to Cruz, knowing they've got a left-hand hitter coming up next.
Chopper, nice backhand pick by Valencia, but the throw pulls Kadire off the bag, and Hamilton is home to make it 3-1.
You can kind of see that coming. It was going to be a tough play for Valencia. It was a high chopper. It's right down the line. Cruz gets down the line well. He knows he's got to get it over there quickly. And after he fielded it, he could not make the long throw. It was high. And the Rangers pick up an insurance run. That's a big run.
E5 charged to Kadire, the only error for either team in this game, and it gives the Rangers a 2-run pad, a huge insurance run scoring there with 2 outs. Hamilton's 2-out triple got all this started. Young now at second. Here's Moreland, and a base hit right up the middle on the first pitch he sees. Revere's throw up the line and late, and it's 4-1.
A couple of big plays. Rangers took advantage of Valencia's throw to first, and Mitch rips the first pitch he sees up the middle. Really good pitch to hit, and he hit it.
A 2-hit night for Moreland. 31st run batted in. 4 straight Rangers have reached after Dumatre got the first 2 outs here in the inning. And the Rangers tonight out 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Here's Torrealba. 1 for 3, a leadoff double on an 0-2 pitch in the 5th, and he scored on a single by Davis. That made it 2-0. Turns his back, but that's in there. Dumatre had no problem getting the first 2 outs here. Kinsler on a pop to second, Andrews on a fly to center, but then Hamilton tripling off the wall in right center at a full count pitch. Young intentionally walked. He has come around to score as well. That pretty well hit. Kubel back a few steps. And that does it for a very productive Ranger 8th. Couple of 2-out runs, 2 hits, a costly error, and Josh Hamilton started it all with his 3rd hit of the night. So Neftali Feliz with a 3-run pad as he comes in to try and nail down the win. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By the Progressive Insurance Group. For money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Neftali Feliz. To work to Tomey, Valencia, and Young here in the 9th inning. Looked like it was going to be a 1-run lead. It's now a 4-1 lead that he has to work with. After Tuesday night, taking his 2nd loss and his 5th blown save, which featured a big pinch double off the wall and left by Tomey. Rangers led that game 8-7 into the 9th, lost it 9-8. Feliz retired only 1 batter using 26 pitches. And the 1 out was on the first pitch he threw of the inning. Got Valencia to ground out. He's in the on-deck circle. And Tom, we didn't see many of those the other night. Good breaking ball.
Yeah, he's a different pitcher when he's able to throw that breaking ball for a strike. But I think the other thing that you want to see is when he comes into a game right off the bat, you want to see him throwing the ball hard. And that's what he did today. He came in, the first pitch he threw was 97 miles an hour.
That one at 98, and it looked like even Tomey thought that was strike 3. He was headed back to the dugout. It wasn't. So it's 2-2. Blows him away again at 98 miles an hour. Out number 1.
Yeah, and I think when people are talking about Neffy and coming into a game and a sense of urgency, I think what they're talking about is they want to see his best stuff on the first pitch. They don't want to see a 92-mile-an-hour fastball or a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. They want to see him come in and give it his best shot right off the bat, and that's what he's done today. The result was good, obviously, but the first pitch he threw was a hard 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and every one has been above 96. And you know, you can come in, and if you're giving it your best shot and you get beat, there's not much you can do about that. That's going to happen. I think what everybody's saying is, let me see your best shot right from the first pitch. Everything you got.
Close miss there, 97, and it's 2-0. Well, the way Nolan Ryan put it, well, he wants to see Feliz out there looking like when he's taking over, the game is over. And he knows it, and he wants the other team to feel the same way. That's in there for a strike. Just that air of invincibility. Maybe a lot to ask for a guy in his second year. Maybe not.
Well, you just look at the way he came into the game and the result of the first hitter. Tomei hit the ball, a double to left field in the big ninth inning rally they had the other day. And today Feliz has come in and struck out Tomei on a good fastball. 98 miles an hour, last pitch to Valencia. So what he's come in today with is giving it his best shot with all he's got.
Danny tonight 0 for 3. Ground out, pop up, fly out. 11-game hitting streak on the line for him. 3-2. A lot of movement on some of these Feliz fastballs. Pop up, short left field. Andrews is under it. And the Rangers are 1 out away. And that 1 out will be Delman Young, who is 0 for 3 tonight. 0 for 4 last night. Tuesday night, he started that ninth inning rally with a single with 1 out off of Neffy. 30,406 on their feet in the ballpark. Try and bring this one home. Matt Harrison with 7 1/3, a run on 8 hits. Tatayama and Rhodes got their men in the 8th. Kadire and Kubel. Now Feliz has got the first 2 here in the 9th. 1-1.
Well, David, there's been a lot of games this year that you would call big games for the Rangers, even though there's 2 months of this season left. But I think this is one of the bigger games for the Rangers. The Angels are playing well. They've won this afternoon. The Rangers have lost 2 games to them in the last 2 days. They've lost 2 out of 3 to the Twins before this game. This was a big game to come out and win this game, and Matt Harrison set the tone.
And Neftali Feliz finishes it off with a 1-2-3 ninth inning. So he responds to the challenges of his manager and preserves a well-deserved 9th win of the year for Matt Harrison as the Rangers salvage a split of this 4-game series.
Yeah, I think in this particular game, just to finish up on that thought, it's a big game for the Rangers. They really need to win this game. You don't want to go into Toronto having lost 3 straight, see a 4-game lead dwindle down to 1. It was a well-pitched game by Scott Baker, so Matt had to be on top of his game, and he was. And he pitched deep into the ball game, and you can't underestimate the job that Tadayama and Rhodes did coming into the 8th inning for a